Hello everyone and welcome to Aradia Alchemy. I am Nia and on this channel we talk about spirituality and witchcraft to improve our life. And in today's video I want to develop further the subject of grounding. We talked a bit about grounding in my video, the most important tip for baby witches. I'm going to leave it up here so you guys can go and watch it if you didn't already. And now let's figure it out together. What is grounding? Grounding is the technique to center ourselves, to channel our energy so we can feel more focused, balanced, and strong. When we are not grounded, usually we experience sensation of feeling physically drained, worried for no reasons, anxiety, or even delusionment of some sort. There is a lot of emphasis sometimes for beginner witches or even in the spiritual community about the higher chakras, and therefore the crown chakra, the third eye, the throat chakra, how to see angels, how to communicate with spirit guides, which obviously is beautiful. But we cannot deny the importance of grounding as well. Because if the statement, we are infinite beings, is true, also the statement, having a human experience, is also very true. And therefore, balance is what we should strive for as healers and witches or empaths or people in the spiritual journey at large. When we are not grounded, sometimes we can have unrequited manifestations, even subconsciously, or perhaps if we open our third eye or we try to call certain energies of deities, if we're not grounded, that could lead to some dangerous outcomes, or to feeling of drain or not be ready to experience certain energies. Grounding is also very important when it comes down to our mental health and to connect to Mother Earth at large. Because like I said in the video, the most important tip for baby witches, we do borrow as creators and as practitioner of the craft, we borrow the energy from Mother Earth and the universe at large. In fact, we are not the only creators of this universe. We are extension of the creator itself. Or even if you don't believe that, well, if everything is created only by you, well, wouldn't we live in a perfect world according to you? That's obviously not the case, simply because we are co-creating with the collective consciousness of humanity at large, and we are facing that through relationship on our day-to-day basis. Therefore, this human experience is truly about finding balance, focus, and strength within our humanly body so we can connect to spirit in an effective way. Now, let's figure it out then together. What are the most effective techniques for grounding, and my favorites as well? The first technique for grounding that I love and adore and is super popular is rooting. What is exactly rooting? Rooting is the experience to feel the connection with Mother Earth like we are the roots of Mother Earth itself. Now, obviously, all of this technique of grounding, they are related to visualization and meditation. I am going to make further videos about visualization and meditation, so subscribe to this channel to have those videos and to watch them as well. In the meantime, if you're new to meditation, you have to understand that without meditation and visualization, there cannot be any manifestation or practicing of witchcraft, as these are the fundamental pillars of the craft and energy work at large. And if you are new to meditation, I highly suggest you to try the free ones that are here available on YouTube on so many channels that are guided, so you can taste a bit or experience actually what it is exactly to meditate and visualize. Going back to the technique of rooting, what you will have to do, guys, is to sit down in a comfortable position, possibly on the floor or in Shavasana, the yoga pose, which is nothing but laying down on the ground with your entire body like a dead pose, all right? So close your eyes and focusing on the breath. Don't worry about it. You can do it even this after you're watching this video, so there is no problem. And once you can feel your entire body or possibly your feet in the earth, and you can do this even in your 7th floor apartment or in a tiny apartment, as well as going out in a park. As long as you're feeling comfortable and safe and in your own privacy, it's gonna work no matter what, because our earth is our mother and it's our home, and everything is so interconnected connected and intertwined that we do not necessarily always have to be physically present around Mother Earth. Even within our own space, it can work, this technique. So nevertheless, wherever you are, it doesn't matter as long as you're comfortable. I want you guys before to close your eyes and focusing on the breath in and out until you become the observant of your thought and you feel a sensation of relaxation throughout your body. What does it mean to become the observant of your thought? It's to simply not trying to control them, as that is almost impossible for our mind, but to simply letting them go and observing them without judgment. Once you feel that you have achieved this zone of of a stillness, we could say, I want you to imagine your energy coming from your entire body or possibly your feet to be forming some roots, like the roots of a tree. And the more you will feel these roots, the more they will go deep, deep, deep into the ground until they will meet the actual roots of Mother Earth. And this is why visualization as a technique is super important when we're doing those type of exercises. And once the roots are meeting the roots of Mother Earth, imagine the sensation of warmth throughout your body, stillness and calm that is pushing you down, like almost your body is becoming heavier and heavier, and you feel one with the Mother. You feel one with the womb of creation. Once you have experienced this sort of technique, you will probably feel much more relaxed, calm, and balanced. And this is an amazing technique to use, especially if you are indecisive to whether do a spell or not, or you don't know what to manifest, or simply you are in a moment of stress and you need to calm your mind. Actually, all of these techniques are good for these purposes because grounding is good for these purposes, as well as I said before, connecting to Mother Earth. The second technique that I want to present to you guys is called earthing. Earthing is the actual physical experience to feel Mother Earth like tangibly with your body. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do any crazy thing. This is something actually very spontaneous and that many people do subconsciously. Every time that usually people feel stressed and anxious, they like to go on retreats, whether this is even like 5-minute on retreats near the park near your house. But they like to connect to Mother Earth and take some fresh air. We're going to talk about the reason why fresh air in a second with our third technique, so stay tuned. But the connection physically to Mother Earth, like hugging a tree or simply contemplating the colors of the season where you are in, or the beauty of Mother Earth itself, really connects us to the deepest roots of our own creation. Even the philosopher Immanuel Kant talks about the exorbitant beauty of the Mother Nature and how that made him reach a sort of illumination. And if you study philosophy, you know what I'm talking about. Immanuel Kant was one of the most important philosophers of all time and definitely a very enlightened person. And through his books, he describes the ecstasy of being part of this majestic work that is Mother Earth. And what he has experienced is nothing but earthing. It's to find that connection through even only 5 minutes of contemplation in nature of Mother Earth. And this is a technique of grounding. That's why every time that people, for example, are having a burnout, they're working too much, or they're pressurizing themselves to make a decision, I usually, as a psychic, like to comfort them and suggest to them to just go out, stay around nature, and try to, don't think about anything for a while. Because once you come back after this experience to your problems, to your daily life, to anything that you were doing before, you will do it with much more balance and an energy that is focused and refreshed. And this is one of the goals, of course, of grounding. And connection to Mother Earth through earthing is obviously very important when we have to communicate with the spirits of Mother Earth as witches, as well as the angels, because raising your vibration and grounding, they really do go hand in hand. You cannot be high vibrational if you're losing your mind mind in the higher consciousness. It always has to be a balance between your human experience and your spiritual self. And this is greatly depicted also in the Tree of Life of Kabbalah. Now, let's talk about my third technique, which talks about fresh hair or freshness in general when it comes down to grounding. Have you ever experienced that sensation when you are in a moment of stress, panic, anxiety, or even when your crush is looking at you and you feel all blushy? That is because your body is warming up, right? So usually what people do when they feel that their body is warming up in a way where they feel overwhelmed, they go out, they take some fresh air. Sometimes they even like drink some water or splash it in their face to recoup a bit of sanity and clarity. Well, this technique is exactly the same. Well, every time that you want to ground yourself, especially if you are not familiar with meditation, don't worry about it. You can use this technique. I want you guys to go near a lake, a river, or simply your bathroom. That will be fine as well. And to use cold water. Now, obviously, don't use icy water where you're burning, because ice can actually burn your skin, where you are injuring your hands or anything like that. It has to be bearable, of course, but just put your hand under cold water while you're focusing in the water. You're looking at the water and you're feeling the sensation of coolness that is purifying your body. And yet again, you're becoming the observer of your mind, of your thoughts, without controlling them. Take a deep breath in as the water circles throughout your body. You can even do a shower or a bath, but I feel that a cold bath might be too much for the majority of people. So I just suggest firstly to use the hands as a safety measurement and just to feel the sensation of freshness and coolness throughout your hands and throughout your body. You will notice that by the time that your body has cooled down, you feel much more grounded and much more stable. And yet again, a lot of your worries are coming down and you feel more practical about the solution that you have to get and simply more balanced in general. This is a perfect technique for grounding. Another very interesting technique for grounding revolves around music. And this is for all of you, my loves, who love music. Music is the language of the universe. So why do I say that? Because most of the time you will hear people saying that actually mathematics is the language of the universe. And I don't think that it's incorrect at all. But if you think about music, music revolves around mathematics, notes, vibration, and emotions. It doesn't matter who is singing or playing a song, because we can all understand music through our emotion. And this is why, in my humble opinion, it makes it like the language of the universe. And music can be used for both grounding and raising your vibration. And I love to do two things at the same time that help us out with our manifestation as well as improving our lives. And how is that so? If you think about music that is not distorted but is high vibrational, and by the way, I made an entire album called Nea, We Are the Creator, that is tuned in to the vibration of the earth, and as well as it has a tune that raises your vibration. But nevertheless, if you want to check it out, it's on Spotify and every other platforms. Nevertheless, with music, especially if it has a good drumming or a good rhythm, in fact, it's been used throughout the centuries for this reason, not only you can ground yourself, because when you're listening to music and possibly even moving your body, don't worry, nobody has to watch you, you can do this in your own privacy, but you're just moving your body, you're just feeling good, you're grounding yourself because you are in the experience in the present moment of the awareness of your body. But through the movement of your body, you are also raising your vibration, especially if the music that you're listening to is tailor-made for raising your vibration, like I said before. And this is a technique of grounding that I use all the time with my best friends. I remember multiple times when my best friends were feeling their emotions and they were going through some hard or painful processes, I used to always say, randomly, you know what we're gonna do tonight? Let's put some music and just dance and be stupid. And they were like, but why? And I said, do it. And then you're gonna see later. And through the dance and through just moving your body and feeling and even smiling when you don't want to smile, which doesn't mean that you're demonizing your emotion and you're not undergoing that process of healing. This is actually after you have purged out all those negative emotions or all those emotions that make you in pain. So yet again, this is a step further than that. But by feeling your body and dancing and removing all of this energy, they used to calm down, put a smile back in their face and be like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I actually feel better. And this is because music, especially music that has very strong drums in it, is used for grounding as well as raising your vibration. And I use it all the time when I'm thinking too much and I'm having too much problems and I just want to release some of the stress and the anxiety and I need to ground myself. I put some music and I just have fun with that and with myself and with my body. Now, another beautiful technique for grounding revolves around the use of crystals. And I know you guys love crystals so much, especially the majority of you that interact with my channel as well as Naya Visions. And crystals, I mean, they come from our mother. They are gems, they are stones. They hold such pure information when it comes down to grounding and it comes down to Mother Earth at large, as well as the universe. And therefore, meditating with crystals or even holding them, even in our chest, connecting them with our heart chakra, is a very interesting yet simple technique to ground ourselves. You just have to hold your favorite crystal and imagine the energy of the crystal to make you feel grounded, peaceful, more balanced, like you're almost absorbing the energy from the crystal and you are having an inner conversation between the crystal and you. Some other witches or spiritual practitioners, they actually do grounding and meditation with crystals by looking at a certain point within the crystals. This is a raw aquamarine, and therefore they concentrate like a mandala or a sacred geometry. They concentrate on the cracks and they really try by focused intention to steal their mind and to cool down and ground themselves. This is a very awesome technique. And also wearing crystals such as tiger eye, tourmaline, black obsidian, but in my opinion also aquamarine can be a technique that is used from many people to ground themselves. And why aquamarine, for instance, since it's the one that I'm holding and is my favorite. Aquamarine is a beautiful stone for grounding in my opinion, because it's a stone that comes down and cool our bodies, and not only that, it usually releases anxiety and stress and connects us to our life purpose in a very gentle way. Tiger eye is very connected instead to courage, to assertiveness, and to action, and find healing when it comes down to our sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra. Tourmaline, another beautiful stone for grounding that protects us from negative energy and clears out our space, as well as black obsidian. That obviously it's going to be up to you, so choose the crystal that you resonate more with. Now, talking about the last two practices when it comes down to grounding, well, the last one has to do with food, of course. Eating healthy food and eating vegetables and fruit is a technique for grounding. Why is that? Because like I always like to mention, I don't like to tell people what to do or what to put in their plates. I think that our bodies function in a very different way depending on who we are. And this is something that also has to join in with medicine and nutritionists. So apart from that, there is no shadow of a doubt, and I bet that every doctor and every nutritionist will actually agree with me, that fruits and vegetables can be very healthy for our bodies. And on a spiritual level, everything that we drink, everything that we absorb within our bodies become us, biologically speaking and energetically speaking. Therefore, having a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet is very important for grounding, because sometimes when we eat a lot of junk food and a lot of food that is processed or unhealthy, we might feel not really comfortable within our bodies. We might feel like our heart is not working properly. We feel very heavy, not light as light beings should be. And in general, we just feel heavy on the inside. And that is why probably our bodies need some food that will deliver some grounding and some healthiness from within. And yet again, vegetables and fruits are perfect for this, especially in hot climates. I love to eat a lot of fruit and vegetables when I am in hot climates, or warming them up when I'm in the cold. Now, as my own diet experience, I am a vegetarian, but yet again, I don't like to tell people what they have to do. So that is something that you have to judge for yourself. But definitely eating fruits and vegetables is a perfect way to ground yourself. And last, also another perfect way to ground yourself, and those of you who are connected to potions and green witchery and kitchen witchery, you will love this last tip. And it is about working with essential oils and herbs. Now, when it comes down to essential oils, I cannot stress enough the fact that you must take an allergy test before you're using these oils. And in my opinion, essential oils that can be super powerful and they should never be drinked, okay? That's the big disclaimer. And I am only saying this because I have been using organic makeup and organic essential oils forever. And because of my heavy use of these oils, I actually developed allergies towards them. So right now I have to be a lot more conscious about the way that I'm using them. So I don't want any of you guys to experience the same allergies that I had to experience. And that's why I always present you guys with a disclaimer when it comes down to herbs and essential oils. Because many times when we are thinking about Mother Nature, we think about like chamomile. Oh, it's gonna be fine. This is just like chamomile, you know, it's an herb, it's natural, it's gonna be completely harmless. That cannot be further from the truth. One thing that you guys have to know about our mother is the fact that she's powerful. She's super powerful. And the ancient used to know this perfectly. Essential oils and herbs, they can have so many properties that are overwhelming, especially if you're used to a lot of synthetic products that instead are the opposite. I have studied cosmetology, so I don't want to bore you with any of that. When a product is synthetic, it doesn't mean that it's harmful necessarily, but it could be that a synthetic product is actually empty. If you think about silicone is quite empty. It doesn't have anything. Vaseline is made of silicone, and this is why a lot of synthetic products are actually advised for allergic people. But obviously you can find a balance by not overly using essential oils and by being very mindful about their power. But for instance, using herbs and essential oils, just smelling them like eucalyptus, roses, or lavender can be a powerful tool not only for rituals and spell, but also for grounding. Each and every individual herb and essential oils has properties to them, exactly like crystals. I made a specific video about the correspondences of oils and herbs on my Patreon. So I highly suggest you guys to check that out, as well as my other in-depth videos about witchcraft and energy work. Now, this is it for today, you guys. I hope you have learned some simple tips and tricks in order to ground yourself and effectively produce accurate manifestations, as well as improve your lifestyle and your life in general. Subscribe to this channel to have more videos about energy work, spirituality, witchcraft, and so much more. Join my Patreon for extra content, and I see you guys very soon in another of my videos. Bye!